left, but you got a right to vote. Black Thought, go in express.
Right or left, we up the creek without a paddle. Look at the
Hello. My name is Lucy and today, I will be showing you all how to register to vote. First visit scvotes.gov. Then look for the How to Register subtitle and click Register Online. Once you click Register Online, confirm that you have a valid South Carolina driver's license or ID. The last step is to complete the online voter registration entry and confirm your register and you're all set. Thanks for watching.
When they telling us lies about deadlines and who can and
All right. Good evening, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining episode 21 of the Get Hook podcast. As always, this is your boy Hook coming to you live. And I'm sorry about the late start, but we had a few technical issues we had to overcome, but we're here now. So we'll go ahead and get things cracking. This is part 2 of our Allendale Forward series. And the purpose of this series is to really bring attention to the issues that we're facing in our beloved town of Allendale, South Carolina. This is going to be an opportunity for some of the candidates to come forward. They have this platform to really talk about the issues that are facing Allendale. And in the interest of transparency, I do want the audience to understand that I've invited, several different, members of the town council and people who are vying for public office. Some people have been able to come on, as you can see. Some had prior obligations. But if you know of anyone who does want to come on and voice their opinion, provide their platform, I'm all ears. But we're certainly going to go ahead and go with the people who have who've already given the go ahead that they're okay, because November 3rd is 58 days away. So we have less than 2 months to, vote for the candidates that we want in office and really, start things going in the right direction. So without further ado, I'll let my panel go ahead and tell them who you are. Some of them are very familiar faces, and I'm sure you've seen them before. So guys, go ahead and take it away. We'll go ahead and start with you, Nate.
Hi, I'm Nate Hartley, and I've been in Allendale roughly about 6 years. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I married one of the hometown girls, Miss May Helen Stoney. Her mother is Miss Helen Stoney. And we moved back here to take care of her, I'd say about 6 years ago, a little bit over 6 years. And actually, I retired and came here to be retired. And after being here about 2 years, I began to get involved in some of the civic things that was going on. I was chairperson for Altogether Allendale. We worked with the businesses and put together a business image award. Also, I was on the Tri-County Community Fund, which awards the early learning, the elementary schools with small grants to help them to put some programs in place. Last year, I was able to get for the elementary school, I was able to get something like $3,000 in the form of a grant for the principal and one of the teachers to be able to do some things for the kids at the school. My purpose for running for town council is Allendale is a beautiful little town. It's situated, it's very well situated, and it deserves to have some people that are working for Allendale. And over the past 6 years, I haven't seen a whole lot of that. I think you need some forward-thinking people that's sitting on the town council and a forward-thinking mayor. And in order to do that, we've got to look at who we have, And you have a wide variety of folks to choose from this time around. You have 3 incumbents and 4 new people or new faces. And these are people that I think, I'm not sure, I think they have Allendale's best interests at heart. It's not in me to take anything away from this town. I want to bring as much positivity as I possibly can to it. And for those reasons, I'm running. This is my home now. I may have been born and raised in Jacksonville, but I'm Allendale. I bleed Allendale. And I would love to be able to prove this by getting elected and showing people that I'm a person of integrity. I'm a transparent person. I'm very visible at the same in the same mark. I'm able to talk to people. I do very well. I'm a people person. So I would ask that you, when it comes time to vote, that you would give me some consideration. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Nate. All right, Horace.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Horace Matthews, and I'm running for mayor. Unlike Nate, I haven't been here 6 years. I've only been here 5 years. But my wife and I, Patricia Matthews, Pat, we both come from Georgia, so we are Southern born and raised. We've had the good fortune of being able to live in various places during our professional careers, but we always decided that we wanted to retire back down south. We wanted to be we wanted to retire in a small town that was close to a lot of the things that people like to participate in. Like, we love going to the beach, we love Savannah, we particularly love Savannah. But there's Augusta, and we just happened to stumble upon Allendale. We knew nothing about the area when we were looking for a place to retire. When we saw this house in Allendale, we knew right away that was it. Now, it was a fixer-upper, and we were in for that. We like to do things like that. So we've been here 5 years. And in those 5 years, I've gotten involved with a couple of major projects in the town. I hate to have to say, but neither one came to fruition because various agenda interfered with the completion of them. One of them was starting a newspaper, a free newspaper for the citizens in Allendale. We have only one outlet for current events, and I thought perhaps it would be great if we could bring a newspaper to town here, and we could fund it through ads and through other monies that are available for running the newspaper. And I had the school system backing it. I also had USC backing it, and we were going to, as an offshoot of that, we were going to create a journalism club at the high school, so that kids could understand that there were more career options for them aside from those that they normally associate with being available for them. So this would have been an excellent way to get them to act as news reporters to collect information. The other project I was involved in here had to do with trying to turn the old school complex on 278 into something of a multi-purpose community center. And there was a lot of enthusiasm voiced about doing that, but again, I ran into a brick wall there. I don't mean to make it sound as if people don't want to get anything done here. I'm convinced, because I've talked with a lot of folks, that they're truly, truly interested in change in Allendale, and it is our time. We need to ask ourselves the question, why not Allendale? Because when you drive around and you see towns like Barnwell, like Hampton, like Williston, and you see that those towns are doing quite well, and they're a long way from the interstate, just like we are, but they're still doing quite well. Now, I don't want to get out of the agenda sequence, but I think Nate would answer the question, why was he running for public office? I think he did that. So if it's okay with you, Hook, I'm going to take the opportunity to respond to that very same question. I see public service as just that, public service. I do not see it as a career option. I've had 2 careers in my lifetime. One was in education and the other was in business. I have 32 years of professional experience in executive management and administrative positions. I've done an awful lot of things in terms of dealing with federal and state governments in terms of proposals and grants and that sort of thing, the kinds of things that we need to do here. As I was saying, I don't see public service as a career option. I see it as truly that a public service. And the thing that struck us about Allendale was all the potential that's here. As a location is excellent here. Excuse me. But I don't see any effort to try to redevelop the town, to try to attract citizens, people, families, business, and that sort of thing. An awful lot of untapped potential. And it's there. It's just there for the taking. We can do it. We can do it if we work together. And it is time for Allendale to set the example of what is possible when people work together.
All right, Nate, we appreciate that. And Ms. Harney, can you hear us now? I know we had some issues earlier. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, ma'am. I can hear you. And basically, what we're doing now is we're giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself and just let everybody know why you're, because you're in town council right now, if I'm not mistaken. So why you're vying to continue your position, why you still trying to get into a position of public office.
Okay, well, I'm Verna Harney, as some of you know, all of it basically, and I'm a lifelong citizen here in Allendale, homegrown. I'm a retired educator. I have 3 children, 1 deceased, 9 grands, and 3 great grands. I'm also right now I'm working, even though I retired from the educational system. I work as a Social Security representative payee, where I still work and take care of people. And I'm basically a people's person. And why I'm running again for public office, and I thought about not doing it, but I wish to help continue making decisions that are beneficial for our citizens and to be a voice for those who have no voice. And I know, Nate, you all think differently, but still, you need to remember we have a lot of things we want to do. I have a lot of things I want to do and had a lot of things I want to do, but I have only one voice. There are other people on the council too who have to vote to do certain things. And that's something we all need to remember. Not saying don't stop, but please continue. And I do. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Ms. Harney. And thank you guys for the introductions also. And we'll go ahead and get this thing started. So you guys pretty much answered the first question already. Why are you running for public office? I think you gave a pretty good rundown of the reasons that you want to, that you're vying for those positions. So we'll move on to question number 2. So I want to ask you guys, how satisfied are you with the leadership's performance in recent years?
Okay.
You can have this. It's a free for all. So go ahead.
As with everything needs improvement. We do need improvement, especially with this time span. You said decade, 10 years. Everything needs improvement in our cities, but you can compare us to cities that are around us also. Oversized cities and smaller cities. I think that we are, in a sense, doing well as far as our budget is concerned. So with that and leadership, you got flaws, but you also have positive issues.
Okay.
And
I would like to say, were you done, Ms. Harney?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I would like to say that I feel like the leadership has really failed this town. When you look at the towns around us, and I'm just being honest, I'm being open, and I hope you don't take this personally. But when you look around and look at Hampton and Barnwell, even Fairfax, all of those towns are beginning to thrive. Allendale is still floundering. And I can't point a finger at any one thing other than the folks that are running this town. Now, if you look at what has happened, and one of the things that I said early on was forward-thinking people. I'm going to give you a prime example. If you look at 301 at 278 and 278 and 301, if you look at that and you go across the track heading north, 301 becomes a two-lane highway. And one of the things that two-lane highway bought is it brought a bunch of pain to the merchants that are right there after you pass Railroad Avenue, because they took away all of the parking for the merchants there. So now, instead of them having a lane where people can actually park, it's now a turning lane. And on the opposite side, where somebody could have parked, they put up a no parking sign. Now, to me, when you say forward thinking, the town of Allendale had to have some type of a say in the way that that road was constructed. And I feel like a forward thinking person would have said, hey, they're getting ready to build a road there. They're getting ready to rework that road. We need to make sure that our merchants still have parking space. Well, that didn't happen. And I have asked a question. I asked the town council about it. Why is it that you took away the merchants parking? Oh, well, we're working on that. It's something that's got to be done to make that difference. Nothing has happened. That happened over a year ago. And these people still have that same issue. I don't think that this town should have people that are sitting in those seats and are being reactive if they act at all. They should be proactive. In other words, it happened. Now we've got to figure out a way to resolve it. To me, that's reactive. Proactive would have been, hey, we got to make sure that we leave parking over there for those merchants so that when the traffic comes through, they don't have to worry about whether or not their customers are still going to be able to get to them. That did not happen. If you look at our town overall, and I'm going to stop here in a minute, but if you look at our town overall, there's not a whole lot that's happening. Dollar Tree came here. That's probably the biggest thing that happened here over the past, well, it's happened since I've been here, but that's the only new thing that has happened to this town. For people to sit back and say, well, yeah, we got our flaws. I understand that, but I really feel like we as a society, as a community, not just the town council, but also the people of this town need to look at what's happening to Allendale, and we all need to take on we need to work our own personal part to see to it that we make this town a better place to live. And when you said I only have one vote, I understand that very clearly. But I also feel like that if I'm working with like-thinking people, I have the opportunity to persuade them or get them to listen to what I have to say, and we make an intelligent decision as to whether or not it's a good thought or a bad thought. Right now, I really don't see where that's happening. All I see is confusion. And with that, I'll hush.
Okay,
all right.
I guess I'm off now, Hook, right? Do I have the floor?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Nate, I had a hard time holding myself with my piece when you started talking about 301. Let me just start off by saying people get the kind of government they deserve. Let me repeat that. People get the kind of government they deserve. If people don't demand better, they will not get better. One of the things that I was told was a good thing when I arrived here in town 5 years ago was that, hey, we got the University Mile. It's going to be great. It's going to help with redevelopment downtown and all that kind of thing. I said, great. When's it going to start? Well, it's supposed to start in about a year. That was 5 years ago. I went to a lot of council meetings and I'd always inquire about that. And I'd always get the same sort of evasive answer. Well, it's in the works. They're trying to work out some details, and it's still on track and this sort of thing. I come to find out through another project that I was involved in, a newspaper project I'm in, that the town was not involved in the University Mile project, not at all. They didn't have a single word to say about it. And that was simply because USC, the folks down the street there on 301, they were behind that project. They wrote the application and got the grant money. I would ask at the town council meetings, well, if the town is doing this, then we should have a project manager working with the contractor to do the work. Who is the project manager? Well, we'll get back to you on that. The bigger question you're asking, how satisfied are you with the leadership performance over the decade? Well, I've only been here 5 years. And I cite the example of 301 to underscore the fact that I have not seen anything. Now, if someone knows of something that some project that is taking place for the betterment of the town that's going to bring jobs or business, please let me know. But I have not seen I haven't seen a single thing, not a single, and I haven't heard anything from the town council or the mayor that would lead me to believe that there's a new day dawning for Allendale. I just haven't heard it.
Okay. I really appreciate you guys' feedback, and a lot of your responses pretty much segued into the next question. So if each of you will, briefly, expound upon it, in your opinion, and solely your opinion, what progress has been made in the town in recent years?
It's like I said earlier, the really one of the only things that I have noticed in the 6 years that I have been in Allendale that you could consider new, and I guess you could look at it as progress, is the Dollar Tree came to Allendale. We lost what I thought was a pretty good business. We lost SRP, and nothing has come to take its place. I really feel like if you look around, and I ride around this town a lot. I ride in different places just to look to see what's what, and I really don't see anything. And I said this last time, and I'll say it again. I have been all over this country. I have never seen a town that had a college, a rail service, and an airport, and it can't grow. That really boggles my mind, because those three combinations is what builds towns. But that's not what's happening here in Allendale. I'm looking for the progress. There is none. So I'm stepping up to try to see to it that we do get some growth in this town. And with that, I'll stop.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nate. Some progress that I see has been made in this town in the recent years is that we have the digital board, and University Mile is being adjusted, because we do understand and we do not like the fact that you have parking areas and spaces that are not included in the area near the railroad tracks. Now, we were supposed to have been represented as far as my concern. I mean, as I knew, but that slipped us somehow. So we're trying to correct that for the people, especially on that end. We have continuously upgraded infrastructure. We have in compliance with DHEC as far as charges to continue able to continue with applying for grants, etc. We have doing better with the equipment for safety and maintenance. We have a good operating budget so far, especially during times like these. Dollar Tree is good. Now, other businesses were invited, but we have a problem. And the problem is the people stealing. And businesses find out about this stealing, and then they decide that they don't want to come here. Or they'll come for a little while and get the benefits that they can get, and then they'll leave. So I do understand what you're saying, and I sympathize just as well. I feel just as well as you do about it. But like you said, some more voices need to come on and be stronger. Yes. But we do have some citizens need the help too. That's all I got to say. They need the help. It's not all on the council, town council, that. You got county council too, who plays a big portion in these things.
Okay, I think I'm next, right? Ms. Bernie, I agree with you that citizens need to pitch in, but citizens need to know what the agenda is that the leadership is going to put forward to attain the growth and prosperity. If
Mm-hmm.
if there's no plan in place for growth, then and if there's no ongoing positive communication to the citizens about what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it and what they need to get involved in helping us do, nothing's going to happen. The citizenry here has grown very frustrated. Now, I know also, I've been told since I've been here, prior to my arrival, others made attempts to bring businesses here, to do things with the business corridor down on 125 and 301, and each and every time they were stymied in their approach for various reasons, things that should not have happened. I have not heard nor seen any plan. I asked for a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. Most municipalities have those kinds of plans, and those plans and deal with business development, job development, infrastructure improvement, and those kinds of things. You have to have a plan in place before you can come up with a strategy to get there. I've asked for it. I asked for it repeatedly at the town council meeting. And I was always told, well, we'll get a copy to you. We'll get a copy to you. I know I'm sounding awfully critical, but I'm trying to be very objective and factual here. And it does nobody any good to dwell on the past, but it does all of us good to learn from the past. So to answer the question, what progress has been made in the town in recent years? 301 was completed, but that was not a town project. I repeat, that was not a town project. That was USC. The plans and implementation, that was USC. The town should have been honest to the citizens about who was involved in that and why, but they didn't. And I know they didn't because I asked the question numerous times, as did Nate, and as did a few other concerned citizens at town hall meetings. I'm done.
All right. I really appreciate the feedback, guys. And to the audience, we do want you to react to the video, like it or what have you, share it, because we do want this to be broadcast to as many of the citizens of the town of Allendale as possible. And also comment. We do want to hear from you. We do want to understand how you feel about the issues we're discussing as well. So we'll go ahead and move on. And so in what ways has leadership failed to meet expectations?
I'll go first. I think leadership's responsibility is, especially at the mayor's position, I think the mayor is responsible for setting the overall agenda and tone for the town. The mayor, I believe the mayors should use that position as if you will, a bully pulpit to help council members identify opportunities, to bring opportunities to the table and find ways to get it done. Things are not going to be easy, but anything is possible, but you have to work at it. If we don't succeed at first when we submit a grant application, let's say for some infrastructure support, my experience with the federal government is that if you don't succeed the first time, you ask, what can I do to make my grant or my proposed application better? And they'll tell you. They will tell you. These folks down at DOT, Department of Agriculture, that is, they are just chomping at the bit to do what they can to help us. But the mayor has to set the agenda. And that agenda has to be based on real needs in the community. The community can help by making sure that the things that are uppermost important to them get aired and be taken into consideration when the town and the mayor have their meetings. And the mayor has to be transparent. He needs to be able to give an answer to a legitimate question during the town hall meeting. Not say, we'll get back to you or we'll send you a letter. There may be other people sitting in that meeting who would like to hear the very same answer. We have to be, as Nate said, transparent. We have to have ways to effectively communicate. And we have to have a mayor who has an agenda, a realistic agenda for the growth and prosperity with feedback and input from the citizens to make it happen.
Well, I'll go ahead and speak to leadership. How has it failed? In a number of meetings at one point, from like 2015 to last year in November, I don't think I missed a town council meeting because I was concerned about the things that were going on within the town. I've seen people come in there boiling over mad about their water bills, about busted pipes, and you name it, number of different things. And their questions go unanswered. We should have leaders that are looking out for the people. Here's what I offer. If I'm elected, I will hold meetings with the town's people. They can come to me. I will set aside a certain amount of hours that I will spend at the town hall to meet people, find out what their issues are, and work to try to resolve them. Now, granted, Ms. Harney said it, and she said it best. I am only one vote. But if you ask me to do something or ask me for something, I'm going to take that and I'm going forward with it. Now, if I don't accomplish anything, it won't be because I didn't try. And if I don't accomplish anything, you can be guaranteed that I'm going to come back to you and say, well, I took it forward. Nothing happened. It may not be a good idea, or it's not going to work. If it's something that went on in an executive session and I'm only limited to what I can say, then I will only say what I can say. Other than that, I won't be able to put anything past that. But we have to come up with, like Horace said, you got to have an agenda. You got to have an agenda. And if I could see where we had folks that were trying to hear what the people had to say, I wouldn't be running for town council. Honestly, I wouldn't be running for town council because things would be going the way they're supposed to be going. That's not happening. So here I am. I said this earlier in the last podcast. I came here to be retired. But after I got here and looked at the way things were and the way things were happening in this town, it forced, and I won't say it forced because I'm doing what I want to do, but it made me look at it in a way that said, I could do this job and I could make some things happen. Now, I'm not naive, and I know I can't do anything by myself, but I do know that with the help of the citizens in this town, we can do a lot of things. And the one thing that we have to do is we got to lead by example. And if we are leading by example, we will get the citizens involved. So I'll stop at that.
Nate and Horace, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Did you finish? Did you finish? Have you finished?
Hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I understand what you're saying and your concern, but my thing is, if these issues were so important to you, why do you have to wait till town council come to talk about them? Why can't you just go on up to the to the municipal association, the building?
Ms. Harney, Horace and I both, for most of last year, Horace and I had a sit down every first Tuesday of the month with our town administrator. And we talked to him about issues that we had, and we told him what we were trying to do. Those things that he was able to work got worked, but the majority of them didn't. And why? We don't know. But it's not like we haven't brought things forward. And I'm not pushing for Horace or pushing for myself. I'm just trying to make you aware that we have come up to the town council and we have had conversations with the town administrator to try to make him aware of the situations that we have within our community.
Okay, Nate, let's give Ms. Arnie a chance to complete her statement.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now I got to regroup. Okay. Maybe we do. Now, he does tell you he'll get back with you, but I guess he'll get back with you in hopes that you will come up and really talk about that particular issue with him and the administrator particularly. And with the administrator, I see some awesome things happening now with the new administrator that we do have. Now, we had some flaws with the old administrator, but with the new administrator, I see some awesome things happening, and I wish them to continue happening. Now, if you see flaws with them, you need to let us know. Okay. Don't come to council and beef. You all don't go to county council and beef and carry on like you do at our meeting.
Well, I don't think we carry on, Ms. Harney. Excuse me. I don't think we carry on.
And Nate,
let's ask questions.
And I'm just from my point of view.
Hey, Nate, let's let her finish.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No worries, you good.
You be bitching and carrying on at your local level instead of doing county level. That's where most of the stuff come from too. And everybody was looking at us locally as if we are the big people, and we're not. They determine who jobs and stuff that come here also,
May I? May I now?
Please, go right ahead.
I have no idea what a citizen can do that has a concern, a citizen now, that has a concern, other than to come to the town council meeting and to voice that issue or complaint. And not only do it once, do it many times. I have no other way, I don't know of any other vehicle or avenue available except for going to the media and talking about the issue. But the purpose of the council meetings open to the public is for the public to come and hear what the council has to say about the various issues facing the community, and also to hear from the citizens about things of concern to the citizens. Now, there's not a single thing that happens in this town, not a single thing that happens in this town, for which an answer should not be available at the time that the answer is asked during the town council meeting. There's no, if I go to a town council meeting and ask a question having to do with the water system, somebody out there should be able to answer that question. Because every council member has an assignment or two, and they monitor the various departments in the town. So with that being said, yes.
I still say to get results, you need to go to City Hall, not City Council meeting.
City Hall is, you're talking about the county courthouse?
No, she said City Hall. But I think where, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying, Ms. Harney, is we need to bring our issues forward to the administrator. And I think I also said early on that is something that we did for better than a year.
That is true. That is true.
And
record.
I don't think I have ever came to a town council meeting and asked a question and was, as you said, bitching or being out of place. That's not my nature. I have come in there and I have asked questions. I have asked questions of substance. Same thing for Mr. Matthews. I think the issue is because we are asking those questions, nobody wants to hear them.
So, but I really don't think that's the issue, that nobody wants to hear them.
They aren't doing anything about them.
Pardon me?
They aren't doing anything about them. And I'll give you an example. I don't know if you were at this meeting or not, but I came in there last year, in January of last year. You had a young man get killed through gunfire 1 week. The next week, a young man got paralyzed. I came to the town council, and for the next 9 months, I asked for a town hall meeting where the leadership got together and sat down and talked with the members of the town. That never happened. So I think it was around September, October, I went to a meeting and I said to the council, I said, the question that I ask is, why have we not had a town hall meeting? And the thing that I said to them, and like I said, I don't know if you was there or not, but the Bible said, you have not because you ask not. And I said that to the council. I said, we have not because we ask not. Why haven't we got some kind of answer or something saying that we were going to have a town hall meeting? They could give me absolutely no answer for that. Well, we're going to do it somewhere down the line. It's 2020 and we still haven't had a town hall meeting. So when you say I got to come to town hall, I come to town hall, I come to the town council meetings, but we need to know that what we are saying is not just being brushed up under the rug. It's being taken for what it's worth, and it's being applied if it's something that can be applied. And I don't mean to be, if the whole council was there, I'd be talking to them the same way that I'm talking to you. So please don't take this personally.
Not.
All right, and I appreciate everyone's commentary. I think that was extremely awesome dialogue. I think it's also the perfect segue into the next question, though. So I do want to ask everyone, why have we not seen a change in leadership? If we have, because obviously I think there's some, we disagree on, the progress that the town has made. But if you guys think that there has or has not been progress, if that is indeed the case, why have we not seen a change in leadership in recent years?
May I go first on this one?
You went first on the last one, but go ahead.
Okay. I defer to you, Nate. You got the floor, Nate.
No, go ahead. I was just messing with you, Horace.
Okay.
No, I want to hear what you guys say. Go ahead. Somebody.
All right. There have been so many missed opportunities around here. Missed opportunities. And I believe that people, and I'm from a small town as well, and I've been here long enough and I'm old enough to know how people in general look at elections and how people in general look at candidates for election. People tend to go with what they know and what they feel comfortable with. That could be a recipe for disaster, because what you know and what you like may not be the best thing for you or the town. And I know that's a hard issue for a lot of people, to take a gamble or a risk on a quantity that they don't know as well as the other. But at some point, you've got to say, look at where we are now. The way I've been voting up to this point, the people I've been helping to send to office at this point, what have they done? I don't mean for me, what have they done for the town? Ask yourself that question. That may help to bring you to a realization, well, it may be time to look elsewhere. It may be time to look elsewhere. Okay, I'm done.
Well, I think back in 2016, I think that was when the mayor's position came open last. And one of the things that I asked a person, I said, who are you going to vote for? And the answer that I got back, I'm going to vote for Ronnie Jackson. I said, okay. I said, can you tell me something that Ronnie Jackson has been in office right now 8 years. Can you tell me something that he has done over the past 8 years that would cause you to want to vote for him again? And he said, he don't need to do nothing. He's my friend. And a lot of that has gone on. I knew that coming into the last election, 2018. That's why I got out and I walked around the town and I talked to people because I wanted people to know who I was and give me a chance. I think people vote for people that they know, and those people aren't doing anything for them. That's my take. And when I say they aren't doing anything for them, a question was asked in town council meeting earlier this year. Could you please tell me what have you done over the last 4 years that would warrant my vote this year? There wasn't one person that could speak to that. And when she got ready to speak, another person got into a back and forth with them, so they didn't get a chance to come out and say what it is that they had done. But other than that, I don't see where I don't know how people come up with their way of voting. It boggles my mind that you would have a town that has gone down and down and down, and the people haven't jumped up and said, hey, it's time for us to stop this. Because it takes the people that you can have whoever you want on that town council. If the people aren't behind the people that they're putting in there, you're not going to have anything. And that's why we are wrestling with the situations that we have in this town right now.
Mr. Nate. Okay, I think the question was changes. Okay. Why have we done? Well, what have you done to kind of help us to do things to make change?
Well,
what have you done? I mean, what kind of voice and what have you done? You've recognized, you said it needs to be, we need to change. Leadership needs to change. So what ways have you all done to help, make sure that things have changed? Talk
is cheap. But you want to know what I have done? I can
both
give
of you
you,
actually, to help us do better, to help us make better decisions in communicating with your leaders.
Well, I think we kind of talked about that early on, coming into those meetings.
Again, I must have missed
coming into those meetings and asking questions is one way to reach out to our leaders and let them know that there are situations that we need for them to handle. But you asked.
I'm gonna tell you, you know what though? But I'm gonna tell you, you should know that you're not going to get a whole lot accomplished in those meetings, because that is not a meeting setting. That is a setting where, as we talk about what has happened, if you go into these to the city hall itself and talk, like you said, not on the day of the council meeting to talk about these issues, but if you would make an appointment with the administrator to go talk about issues that you can help, is a better time rather than to say this is an hour and you're going to discuss a whole bunch of subjects within 1 hour. That's not the time.
You haven't heard what I said earlier.
I
said that we have come up there and sat down and had meetings with the administrator. And,
I heard that.
Okay, so you asked what have I been doing. That was one of the things that I was doing. But you've got to realize that if we are going and sitting down and having conversations with the administrator and airing out the issues that we are having, and he's coming to you, or I'm saying you figuratively, not literally, and he's coming to the council and saying, well, here's the issues that Mr. Hartley brought to me, and you guys are saying, oh yeah, well, whatever, which is what I feel is what's happening, because those things that I have come to the council, to the administrator with, I haven't seen any changes. So I have no other reason than to believe that nobody's really paying any attention to what's being said.
And Nate, may I jump in here, because you and I were in the same meetings over the last year and a half?
Sure.
It's hard. Let me just say this. Put this in perspective. Nate and I are leaders of one of the neighborhood associations here in town. And as leaders of that association, we were able to do some things in our neighborhood that hadn't been done anywhere in the town for years. One of the things that we did was we began publishing a monthly newsletter for the constituents in this community. And they loved it. They loved it. Last fall, we held the one and only neighborhood cleanup in Allendale. Years prior to that, we were bringing people in from out of town to do what? Clean up our town. And we would sit back and say, you're doing such a good job, keep doing it. In those meetings that Nate and I have had with the town administrator, we have put issues on the table. And we know that he can't do anything without the express permission of the town council, at least the majority of the town council. His inability to act on needs in the community is directly tied to the support and encouragement that he gets from the town council. If you fellas don't get behind him and help him make something happen that needs to happen, or even endorse it from the beginning, his hands are tied. And especially when he's laboring under situations where he doesn't have a job description or a job contract. Now, I don't know if that's been remedied or not, but for a good while there, he didn't know from day to day if he was going to have a job. Now, how can a person in a job with a lot of responsibility and to know how to get it done, how can he get it done when the most fundamental thing that a professional needs is a letter contract or a written contract spelling out his or her responsibility? Now, I don't know if that's been rectified. I hope it has. We talked about it a lot last year. And I'm not asking you to go out on a limb and tell us yes or no. But what I am saying is this is the kind of thing that we as citizens see happening in our community. And these are the kinds of things that have made it difficult for Allendale to progress. And these are the kinds of things that have made Allendale the laughing stock of the Low Country.
Ms. Harney, you are
Yes.
you are part of the leadership at this point. And I would ask of you, tell us some of the things that you have done to make Allendale a better place.
Okay, with some of the, I have had to help make decisions about different things like infrastructure, taxes, the sanitation, police, different little things like that. I mean, but you don't see me outside trying to clean streets or have people to come in and clean, where I think we need to do that ourselves, have the initiativeness to go ahead and clean our own stuff rather than somebody else come in and clean it. But I mean, I do stuff, but you don't always see what I do. And I deal with inner things.
Ms.
Okay.
Harney,
Making things better for them.
When you say infrastructure,
What issues?
I'm gonna take it. You're not, when you say infrastructure, you're not talking about the water system or the pipes.
Some of it, yeah. That's some of it, yes. That's some of it.
Okay, and because I just feel like we are putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole as far as the pipes around this town is concerned. They're old. They should be replaced, but instead of replacing them, we are going around putting on patching them, and then as soon as you patch one, you go a mile away and there's another one. It's just, there has to be a way to make these things happen without doing a patch. We should be able to come up. I'm pretty sure this town has bonds and things like that. I don't know because I'm not a part of the town council, but we could put up bonds to get our water system straightened out. And when I say water, I'm not talking about the place where the water actually is. I'm talking about where the water is flowing, the pipes. We could put up bonds to resolve some of those issues. I mean, it's it's a number of different ways that could be done. We could get grants, but I don't see any of that happening as far as this current leadership is concerned.
Okay.
Okay,
So did you during your discussions at the city hall, did you give such a suggestion to the administrator? Can't hear you.
Of course, well, you didn't give me a chance to respond.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm having
Yes, we have given plenty of instructions, suggestions to the administrator.
Okay.
I really don't think that it's so much the administrator's problem as it is the council's problem. The fact that the council doesn't act on the things that the administrator brings.
Now the council doesn't run things. We all hire the administrator to run things with our help and aid.
But it's like Mr. Matthews said a few minutes ago. The administrator acts solely through the council. If the council don't bless it, it doesn't get done.
Let me ask Ms. Marnie a question about, you said a moment ago, Ms. Marnie, that, you know.
What?
Pardon? I'm sorry.
Repeat.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said a moment ago that you had worked on the budget. You're talking about some accomplishments, right? That you had worked on the budget and that you had worked on some police issues and that sort of thing. Let me ask you a question. These two things dovetail, budget and the police, okay? Not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, the police force had several police cruisers sidelined, out of service. And the reason they were sidelined out of service was because they needed new tires. They needed new tires. Now, I'd really like to understand how, with the resources that we have limited resources in the police department. With the resources that we need and with the resources that we have, why is it that the town council hasn't done everything it could possibly do, and the mayor, to be?
Well, Mr. Matthews.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has certain responsibilities, the council as well as the administrators. So are you saying that we need to the council just go ahead and do certain things and we don't need to have an administrator?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that.
Well, it sounds like you're alluding to that.
No. I'm following up on a couple of comments you made not too long ago. You were involved in budgetary issues. You also said you worked on some things with the police. And I guess the question to you, were you aware that not so long ago, police cruisers were sidelined because they needed tires?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Is that a yes?
Cruisers were sidelined because they needed we needed tires.
Yes. Is that true or false?
No, I don't know about that. I mean, that should have been not sidelined, stop getting a cruiser or something because we needed tires. That should be in the budget. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I appreciate everyone's. I appreciate you guys' commentary. So I know we're running a little close to time. I'm going to ask a couple more questions, though, if you guys are okay with that. The next question I do want to ask is more citizen related. So, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process?
Well, I had mentioned early on that I would put so many hours per week in the office and hope that the citizens would come and make me aware of issues that they may have so that I would be able to go to the full council and say, hey, I've had several people to come in. This is a complaint or this is something that they think would be good for the town. What do you think about that? What should we do? Is this something that we should work on, or is it even doable? That's one of the excuse me. That's one of the things that I see is needed because The only time I really see council members at the town hall is sporadically throughout the month, and then of course on the second Tuesday. So, and Ms. Harney, I wanted to say something to you. I hope that this isn't anything that's adversarial, and I hope you're not seeing it this way. This is just a couple of citizens really just expressing the way that they feel about the way things have happened around here.
Yeah, that's how I see it. You guys are expressing what you feel. And that's what you're supposed to do. Nothing's wrong with that. I can't criticize you for that. Now, the question was, I think, how do we plan to involve residents in decision making? Well, presently they are involved in decision making. They share ideas and concerns about things that's happening in the town. At least I get those things, and there are some other council members that the citizens talk with. Citizens also shouldn't wait until something happens to get involved. You need to be involved ongoing, even before things happen and take place. So they are involved with some of us, maybe not all of us, and we'll continue asking their opinions about certain things. At least I will.
Hook, would you ask that question again?
Yes, sir, I will. How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process?
I strongly believe that we can do anything that we want to do if we work together. And you have to build trust with the community that you're going to have the town's best interests at heart and not have a personal agenda for self-aggrandizement or for making some money through some venture or another. I have 12 points that I've listed out on my website in terms of things that I'd like to have the citizen work with me in doing. Let me just touch upon a couple of those three things. We've heard for years about this thing called a splash park, right? One of the things that is so critical here is for us to give the young people of this town something to do. And I'm going to convene a citizens council to come up with real world, doable solutions to address recreation for our young people. That'll help with juvenile crime, that'll help with juvenile delinquency in general. It'll give them a purpose, and it'll help everybody see we are doing something. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convene a different citizens committee to work with me to identify real world, doable solutions to reinvigorate downtown Allendale. I'm talking about the 125 stretch, the 301 stretch. There have been a number of, and I shouldn't say a number of, but there have been some feelers over the years about people interested in doing some things. And we have to be open and welcoming to that sort of thing, working with the various low country agencies that have the responsibility for helping rural areas like ours develop. We need to have a close association with the Chamber of Commerce because they can truly help us. But another thing we've got to do, and I should say continue doing, Ms. Harney mentioned that our town administrator is doing an excellent job. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he deserves the full support of the council, the mayor, and the citizens. What he has done that is not a tangible thing, but it goes a long way in terms of helping us rebuild Allendale. He's restored a level of credibility with those agencies that are looking to work with Allendale to make things better. If we're going to do something, we have to continue building on that. That is key. We can't do anything if we're not seen by people or agencies that can help us. If we can't do anything, if they don't see us as being credible, trustworthy, and professional in our approach to getting things done.
Can't hear you, Hook.
All right, sorry. I appreciate everyone's commentary. Thank you so very much. We have one final question for you guys. All right. So I want to ask, and the people want to know, because we talked about what your plans are if you are elected or if you hold public office, but what do you do if you are not elected? Will you continue to fight the fight, or Or are you just going to go by the wayside?
I've invested, my wife and I have invested a great deal of time, money, energy, and commitment to the community. And I commit to the community at large to stay engaged. But I can't be just a voice in the wilderness. We have to have leadership that's going to be responsive, that's going to have a progressive agenda, it's going to know how to make things happen and get things done. And it's going to be open and honest and forthright with the community. Keep the people involved so they'll know what is it we're trying to do, why we're trying to do it, and what help we need from the community to make it happen.
All right, thank you, Horace. Ms. Harney, you're up.
Okay. If I'm not elected, I'll continue. I won't move away, I promise. And I won't roll over and die. But the thing that I will do is continue doing what I'm doing, being the servant that I am, and try to help the people do the best that they can do and do the best that I can do to be a servant for the people in helping the ways that I am helping already.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Harney.
And if I need, if I'm needed to help with anything at the local level, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it. I'll be fine.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. All right, Nate, take us home.
Okay. Well, it's like I said, when I came to this town and started getting involved, I wasn't in any type of office. I'm not in any type of an office now, and I still do things for this town. Whether I get elected or not, I will still be involved in trying to make this a better place to live.
Thanks, Nate. We really appreciate that. All right, and thank you all for your commentary. It was well needed. We do appreciate you taking your time out to join us. If you guys enjoyed tonight's podcast, make sure you visit us on the podcast page here on Facebook. We're also available on YouTube and across all podcast platforms. Just make sure you search Get Hooked Podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. And this will not be the last time that we revisit this. Again, we have 58 days until November 3rd. So we will be, inviting some of the candidates back on, and we'll also continue making sure that you guys are well informed. Nate, you got a comment?
One last thing. I was on scvotes.org today, and I looked out of a town of 3,000. There is 1,179 people registered to vote. All of the folks that's out there listening, you need to grab somebody and take them and get them registered and get them to vote. That it's too many things that this town is lacking, and it's lacking these things because we aren't voting, we aren't doing the census and things like that. My last statement is, if you want something different, you got to do something different. Thank you.
Okay. May I make one last comment?
Yes, sir.
When you go in that booth to pull the lever or to punch the card to make your selection, ask yourself the question: is this the best person for the job? Good night, all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks. Ms. Harney, anything you want to add to close us out?
Yes. Remember, there are people that cares about people without a personal agenda. Just don't want this to have a personal agenda. And you know what? I won't say that. Just choose who you think is the best person for the job. That's all.
All right, thank you. And again, I really want to thank you guys for taking the time out. Again, this will not be the last time we revisit this. We've got less than 2 months till November 3rd, so I'll be talking to you guys again to make sure that people want to hear exactly what your platform is and what you have going on. So I think this is definitely the time for us to make that decision. And next week, guys, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of virtual learning. So we'll be coming back to you again next week. Thank you for taking the time out to join us, and everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.